My name is DJ Tamieo. I am a DJ based in the DMV area. I have a love and a passion for music and science, and that ultimately inspires me to continue to create in the various spaces that I work in. Outside of DJing, I host various workshops and seminars around the DMV area, and they're based around the concept of STEM. And through that, that's where we get to explore the intersectionality between music and science, and that's ultimately the space that I always want to be in. I'm a very intentional person, so when I find or search for artists, I want to find that similarity within them. I came from a musical background, so I like things to sound very full, so I can tell the difference between the level of production and, again, the intention that's put into the music. Those two aspects are two things that I really look for in the artists that I have come on to occupy the space.
As long as I get to keep you how you are, don't ever change, don't ever go.
Notes all around my room saying, be you, stay true, be different. Sticky notes all around my room saying, be you, stay true, be different. Sticky notes all around my room saying, be you, stay true, be different. All around the world, different types of insecurities.
I picked on Mojo's song Sticky Notes for numerous reasons. One is that she actually put into practice putting up sticky notes around her room, and we spent days writing on those sticky notes and putting encouraging words on the sticky notes and just reminders that it's important to be you, stay true, be different, which is something that she says consistently throughout the song. But through my interactions with her, I've learned how much it's influenced her and inspired her in those moments of sadness and insecurity. One of the sticky notes that stood out to me the most in her room was to take time to yourself. Don't overwork yourself. Concepts like that and statements like that, I think, really help her out when there's those moments of doubt within what you're doing in your life. I was a part of the making of this music video, so it took us a very long time to put up the sticky notes, one, and then two, write in every single sticky note that's on the wall. And going through that process of writing things, it helped me out with my mental stability and my self-care because it forced me to think of ways to help inspire someone and to help get someone to a better place than they were. I met Odd Mojo at this event called The Glowing Theory, and I was doing the logistical work, and I was also the resident DJ in that space and for that event. And she didn't have a DJ at the time, and we just clicked so well. We didn't have any time to rehearse. I told her I've played for artists and performed for artists or with artists essentially, so I'm familiar with the process of creating music or working with artists and playing their music on the fly. So it was a very kind of rough situation at the beginning because we both didn't know how it was going to work out, but I was like, we just need to be confident that this is going to work out and you're going to be able to perform how you want to. And it ended up turning out so well. She did such a good job. And from there, we fostered that relationship of me DJing for her.
Headpiece laced with jewels and alchemical metals. Like a sauce and oil pope. Some days I'm at the end of my rope. This glass silica turns to a slippery slope.
I love Nappy Nappa, and mainly because he's such an expressionist. And you don't see that a lot in some of the rappers that are mainstream. They kind of mundane in the way that they operate. It's kind of copy and paste, essentially. And he is just totally out of control. You never know what you're going to get with him. And that's one of the things that really draw me to him. And he's been featured in spaces such as Adult Swim, where he had a performance, and it's just, again, it's something that you would never expect out of him. Well, I guess essentially knowing that he's just this crazy character you would expect something in that realm. But someone coming in and not knowing anything about him would just be so entertained, not only by his lyrics, but by his performance. And again, it goes back to him being an expressionist. And a lot of the lyrics that he does is very intentional, and that's one of the things that I love. It's like you can listen to a song, but then if you listen to it again, you're like, oh wait, I didn't know he had this hidden message in this statement or in this line. And there's just so much that you can learn about him through his wordplay and through just going through his lyrics, that I think you can just gain knowledge in general and just so many different topics in his beliefs.
She's out there, but you're supposed to be here. Wait, don't worry, she's a creep.
I love Foots and Coles. One band member's name is Foots, and he plays the drums and he also sings. And the other band member's name is Coles, and he plays the keys and he also raps. So I came to work with them through working with Odd Mojo. I really like the fact that they like to bend music and the concept of music. And so Odd Mojo had a show called One Very Odd Show where we wanted it to be as odd as it could be. So instead of playing her tracks completely through, we brought in Foots and Coles, so they had backed her in her performance, and I had DJ'd alongside of that. So it was a really cool concept where you had the DJ playing the actual track, and I had messed with the controls on that with the actual song, and then they came in and provided the bass as well as the keys and the highs and the lows and the mids. They kind of provided that aspect of the song, and they brought that out more. So it was really cool working with them, and through that experience I got to learn so much about them. One of the things I learned is that they started from a church background, and I feel like a lot of talented musicians come from a church background because they're so used to freestyling and kind of working on the fly in regards to sound and producing music. And so I think that ultimately brought them to that space of Foots and Coles, and you can see the influences that they've had from their church background and playing in the church band through their current music. And through Occupying Space, I had interviewed them at one point, and I had talked to them about how their music really stands out to me and the importance of vibrations to them, because I can hear the intention behind their music and making sure that certain frequencies are heard to make the body feel good. And whenever I hear the music, I can definitely feel that frequency and that intention put behind their music. And so that's one of the reasons why I love their music, is because again, it's not just something they're creating, there's a lot of intention behind it, and there's a lot of meaningful sounds that come from the music that they produce and create.
Wait, what's that song that TLC made? Your other half creeping on you without shame. I'm telling you, things like this prevents gain. Introduce you to more pain. Flammable like you Wu-Tang. Keep you running like Hussein.
I really respect Jenna Camille in regards to her ability to fuse and bend the notion of being an artist. She is really good at blending sounds from the pop, soul, R&B, funk, jazz, hip-hop, and electronica music. And you can really hear that through the various forms of the keyboard and playing the piano. So the thing that I love about her, she's actually classically trained in a lot of different musical aspects and elements, and she understands music theory. And I think artists that really understand music theory are able to bend things in regards to music and sound. She's really been able to formulate some formula in her regards to a specific sound that whenever I hear music, I know, oh, that's Jenna Camille. And again, going back to the keyboards, I've seen her play various different types of keyboards. She'll have like all these keyboards on stage, and she'll jump from one to the other. And you're just become so fascinated by her ability to perform so well on whatever she touches. And then to be able to have a really good sound, like a singing voice. I really enjoy her singing voice. And accompaniment with those sounds is just, what she creates is just so out of this world sometimes. In her song 3,000 Roses, she talks about Will You Forgive Me? I have these 3,000 roses, and I'm interested to know as to why she chose that number 3,000. I feel like there's probably some significance behind that number, but she essentially is talking about, I have these 3,000 roses. Will you forgive me? And will you have me for as I am? And I will have you as you are as well. So again, outside of this song just being so melodically well put together, I respect her full-heartedly as an artist, just from her talents in general, and her creativity really stands out to me in this music scene here in DC.
3,000 roses for my love. As long as I get to keep you how you are.
Hello? Hello? Hearsay, it's a lot of hearsay. Yeah, I hear what they say, but I don't fear no man. Been running so long, feel like presidential campaign. Refuse to hustle
I
hard,
first
and
met
never see
Chaotic
a damn
Couture at this party in Baltimore called Versions that both him and DJ Tro Natured had put together. So outside of rap, he operates as a host and a DJ. And I think a lot of people don't think about this when they think about hosting and alongside being an artist, DJing as well. It's hard being a host, especially in queer spaces, because I feel like there's so many expectations from everybody in the audience. Like, so many people are quick to judge you on certain things if you don't perform a certain way. So seeing him in that space, ultimately, before I even heard his music, was really inspiring in general, because his presence is something that you can have like 100 people in the room, but this one person, this one body just exudes so much energy, and it's very lively and it's very intoxicating. And once I met him through the event Versions in Baltimore, I dove deeply into his music, and I started listening to his music and how powerful it was. And I know it's very hard to be a queer person in the industry because there's a lot of hate out there, and a lot of times certain players don't want to give you the opportunity just because of your beliefs or who you love. And regardless of that, he still pushes through that barrier, and he still produces really good music. And for that, outside of all the amazing things he does, he's such a great person to be around. And whenever I'm around him, he just brings the joy out of me just naturally. And that's one of the things that I love about him.
Call back. XOXO. I ain't want shit. I knew you probably wouldn't answer the phone. I just want to tell you, love you, bye. Hey, Kim, miss you.
That's all from me. I hope you all got a chance to enjoy the artists that I love and hold dearly to my heart from the DMV area. If you would like to hear anything from me regarding my mixes or when I'm going to be DJing next, you can catch me every other Sunday at the Eaton Hotel in DC. And to find out more about that, you can check out my page, occupying_space, to find out our next show. Also, any other times I'm DJing, you can find me at Tommy Yayo on all social media platforms. For Summer House, this was DJ Tommy Yayo.